AI summary, you're drunk, go home. This is delicious. I need to add more water. Ugh, I spilled dirt in my water today. This water, the one that I have a lid on. It's okay, I just used it to water the plants. I was really mad though because I had just refilled my filter and put it in the fridge, so I knew the water wasn't cold yet. Like it was like the last cup of cold water. I was so mad. But it's okay. I talked to the Vibe Tribe outside of TikTok on the Discord. We have a Discord server. But like in real life on the phone, no one, because I don't talk to anyone in real life on the phone. Amy, I don't know. How do I manage any of the things that I do? I don't know. It just happened. Wait, do I need vitamins? Oh, you're saying the dirt was vitamins. True. I need advice and I trust your opinion. May I ask? Not counting the may I ask? Sure. Mythical Biker, what up? Amy, thank you for the heart me. Yeah, just ask. You don't ever have to ask if you can ask. If I don't want to answer it, I'll ignore it. Big sassy, or I'll tell you no. Are you sure you want my advice, though? V, what up, love? Burrito, yeah. My day is better than yesterday. I've been playing in the dirt and working on stuff. You know, so that's good. I wore a pretty little outfit today to make myself feel better while I played in the dirt. So that was fun. Because who does that? Me. I mean, I've had stalkers in real life, so stalkers from the internet wouldn't scare me any more than they did. I had an ex-boyfriend who used to leave ammo on my front porch for me. Amongst other things. Like, he would leave things that I talked about, like, in my live. Like, random stuff. Like, when I got attacked by that guy when I was walking the dog, and I was, like, talking about, you know, the encounter with the police and how the lady, the female cop was like, I always carry a fanny pack with me, you know, when I'm out walking, you know, and I keep, like, mace and my pew-pew in there. And I was like, are you telling me I can keep my pew-pew in there? Referring to state laws. And she said, I carry a fanny pack on me when I'm out by myself and I keep my mace and my pew-pew in there. And I'm like, heard. And then a bunch of fanny packs showed up. I mean, he just used to do random shit like that. But anyway, he dropped off ammo one time, 2 boxes. One box was labeled target practice and the other box was labeled self-defense. And I was like, this doesn't feel threatening at all. So, you know, a stranger on the internet would get handled in the same manner. Not really. I don't know if you want a prayer request from me right now. I'm beefing with God at the moment, but go for it. The rest of the chat definitely will. I'm snapping out of it quick. I'm just teasing. I'm trying to remain mad and he's not letting me, and that's making me mad all over again. Not really, but. Bye, Dolce. Congrats. No, I didn't drink the dirt. Thought about it because I didn't want to waste the cold water, but I didn't. I let the plants drink it. Reunion Island? What is that? Well, I am honest. That's why I said, are you sure you want my advice? Ask the question. Wait, are you doing the tattoo? Those are the words that they want? Yahweh is the Most High God. Yeshua is Jesus. Pistis Sophia. I can't remember what pistis is, but Sophia means wisdom. It's Greek. Jax, can you help? I know what it means. I just can't remember right now. Oh, that's awesome, Bo. Congratulations to both of you. Aw. All right, fine. I'll start a new list for the week. There you go. God, Jesus, faith, and wisdom. Thank you, Jax. Okay, V, you twisted my arm. I've deliberately not prayed for 2 days. That's why I responded the way that I did. You guys aren't going to let me be mad at God, are you? Kind of rude. At least I'm honest. I'm not going to sit here and pretend like every day is easy because I follow Christ. It's not. Leslie, thank you so much for the heart me. I'm sorry I missed that. That's what it means. Yeah, no, he knows why I'm not praying. I told him. Leave me alone. What's today? The 14th. Wow. God. I've been doing weekly prayer lists. Weekly prayer lists. You know what? We're going to do fun little squiggly lines this week because we're all about inducing the fun right now, okay? We're chasing the dopamine. One sec. I'm sorry. Lots of squiggles. Okay. B's coworker. Okay. You're welcome. Jay Steele, what up? Thank you. I was going to ask, but then I was like, oh, God still knows. Adam, thank you for the heart me. Hello. Thank you so much. Immortal, thank you so much. No, honestly, and I said this, I might have alluded to it yesterday, and I definitely said it in my Discord yesterday, kind of still alluding, said I'm surprised they made it through the day. Rudy, thank you. Immortal, thank you. This is part of what me and my son had we had a talk last night. That's why I'm not angry anymore, because we did talk, but I told him straight up, and I've never told him this before, and I always said that I wouldn't, but I was like, you know what? I think it's time that he knows. I think he needs to understand, right? Because he has only ever experienced me as his mom. He doesn't know me as anybody else. He's never felt like my wrath or anger or, that sort of thing. He's never been on the receiving end of it. And in his lifetime, he's never witnessed it. Praise the Lord. Because, I've been in a state of surrender for 8 years plus. I mean, when he was born, I started changing, but I've surrendered to Jesus in the last 8 years, right? But I told him straight up. I was like, I don't have value in my own life. I don't. And I don't care if anybody doesn't want to hear it. It's the truth. I don't. I never have. And me and God have been working that out for 7 years. And I can know that I need to. I can know that God has a purpose for me outside of being Dom's mom, but I don't feel that. I never have. And even if I think that I am starting to feel that, things like this happen between him and I, and then I'm kind of like faced with the reality of, no, I actually don't hold that belief. I don't. So I explained to him, like, I'm not, when you and I get in this spot of like this bad spot, like there's nothing for me to hold on to keep me truth. Those are the thoughts that go through my head. What's the point? What's the point? But I also had to remind him too, right? Like what happened to me after my accident, when I didn't even know who I was. I lost my memory. I lost my identity. I literally didn't know who I was when I looked in the mirror. I didn't know where I was every morning when I woke up. My son was the only person that I knew. I didn't know who my mom was. Nothing. Right? And I was like, you were my anchor to reality. And I was like, and the person that you are right now, I don't know you. And it's fucking with my head. So, Leslie, thank you so much. So anyway, there was a lot of like truth and came out, and like I told him a lot of things that I have gone through in my life that I've never shared with him because I never felt like that was his burden to carry. But I was like, I'm not going to like be a survivor of all of that and then let you treat me however you want. Like, we're not doing that. But, you know, there's a lot of other things said. But that's how I was feeling yesterday. And that's why I was mad at God. Because I was like, I never asked to be here. Matter of fact, I've been asking the opposite since I was 11 years old. 11. I am 41 years old now. And there haven't really been many days where I'm like, I don't want to die. And I'm like, this is ridiculous. Why? Do you hate me, God? Do you hate me, God? Woodchuck, what up? That's how I was feeling yesterday. And the day before, kind of, but not as bad as a couple months ago. A couple months ago, I was bad off. But this is the most that it's hit in a long time. This year's really been, it's been a valley. That is for sure. It's been a valley. No, I don't know that, actually. I don't. I was talking to King on the phone, and I took a deep breath because that's what I do when I need to breathe, right? But I was also upset. So he was like, what's on your mind? And I was like, and I was being pissy. And I was like, what are you talking about? And he's like, why'd you take that deep breath? And I was like, I'm just trying to breathe. Because, you know, God doesn't want that to be easy for me either. Woodchuck, thank you. Buck, let's go. I'm just sharing with you guys. That was my mindset. So when I say I was beefing with God yesterday, I was. Because I was like, damn, you must hate me, bro. I can't even breathe. That's not even easy for me, Donna. Like, why am I here? So I just try to be honest with you guys because I feel like it would be extremely inauthentic and a detriment to others if I just pretended like everything was peachy all the time. You know, like, I walk with Christ, God loves me, I'm blessed and highly favored, everything's great. No, it's not. It is, but it's not at the same time. You know what I'm saying? I've had it all and I've had nothing, and I'm content with both. Those are Paul's words, and they ring true for me in my life all the time. However, there are times where there are things that trigger me in a way where it's like, it's almost like, and this is the thing about triggers, right? Like you can't control how hard it slings you back. Because sometimes you don't even realize it's a trigger. So, yep, facts. Well, I'm sorry that you can relate to me, Leslie, but I'm glad that there's, you know, people that you can relate with. I don't need you guys to tell me that God doesn't hate me, honestly. I don't. And I don't want to hear it. I'm aware. But that doesn't, like I started this off with saying, what's up, Mr. Bethel? Saying I can know something. But that doesn't mean that's what I'm feeling. What do you think that they meant when they said in the Bible, I believe, Lord, help me with my unbelief? Like, God, I know you can, but will you? For me. Do you get it? Like, I know that God can heal anything, but will he heal me? I know that God can redeem the time lost, but will he for me? Do you get what I'm saying? I appreciate everybody, but like, there's nothing that anybody can say to make me feel better. You can't. You're fighting against a lifetime of experience, and this is where faith gets interesting. I'm just going to be so for real, right? Because my faith was planted in a bed of lies. All right, hear me out. My own parents told me all the time growing up that I wasn't going to live to see 16. I've shared this with you guys a lot. Okay. It's made it very hard for me to function as an adult because I'm like, why? What am I doing here? I never planned for a future. I never cared about a career, never, dreamed about certain life events happening. Like, I didn't care about any of that stuff. And I didn't think that I was going to live to see it. And I lived my life in that way too. I lived my life in a very tempting God to take me off this planet type of way, deliberately, until I became a mom. Right? So that was the lie that I was planted into. And my whole entire journey of faith is like blooming out of that lie. Maybe it's because I was working with my plants today, but you know what happens to a seed when you put it in the dirt? It has to break open before it can start to sprout. And then when it starts to sprout, then it starts reaching towards the light. It's got to bust through the soil. Right? So I can know certain things that God has said and promised over me, but there's also a belief that was implanted into me at a very young age that was repeated. That's why it's so important to speak life over your children, over everyone, over yourself. I'm such a stickler of like, don't say that, right? Like, I don't even say you know how when people find something to be like really funny or whatever, they'll be like, I'm dead. Like, I don't even say that anymore. I'm so particular. And I think it might have been not yesterday, but the evening before was the first time that I finally uttered what I know the enemy has been trying to get me to say for the last 8 months or so. And that's, I hate my life. I was like, I'm not saying it. I'm not going to curse myself. I'm not speaking that over my life. Like, that's not true. But I was finally like, you know what? I do though, because the one thing that keeps me going apparently hates me right now. My child, I am the mother of a teenager, okay? I know it's normal, but I've also got trauma and I couldn't deal. So anyway, that's what's been going on with me. I'm just being honest with you guys. I'm never going to sit here and pretend like everything's cool when it's not. I'm not that type of person, never have been. But I don't need the words, I don't care because I already know. That's not my problem. Knowing isn't my problem. Ispy, what up? That's that free will, homie. Facts. There's triggers that can send us either way, not easy to control. Yeah. Don't you ever get tired of these perverted men on TikTok? I do, but I also get tired of people calling me dear. Never felt you needed advice. No, it's okay, Immortal. You weren't the only one who said it. A couple people said it. That's the only reason why I said, please don't say it, because I don't care. I'm just in that mindset right now. I don't need to hear it. Like yesterday, people were like, I'm going to pray for you. And I was like, don't. That's how mad I was. Oh, so serious. And today, there's a brief moment. I was like, I'm so mad at the Vibe Tribe because I know they're praying for me and I want to be angry still. But not really, Little Joe, what up? What was I mad about? I have a 16-year-old. Do you know what Jeremiah, Elijah, King Saul, Judas, and the Apostle Paul have in common? They're all human. I don't know. What's today's word? You're asking the wrong one today. I don't know. What's the word for when God has his grip on your shirt collar and refuses to let you go? Ninja Mike, thank you. Honey Bunny? Oh, it's up there. They all wanted to die before their time. I mean, honestly, when you said Elijah, I was like, oh, it must be Elijah. But see, and that's the other thing you guys don't understand. Unless you've experienced this, okay? And this is what I told Dom too. I was like, you are never going to understand what it's like for me to feel like I don't know you. Because I'm not talking about like normal, like, oh, my teenager is growing up, he's turning into his own person. I told him, I said, you are allowed to do that. You are allowed to be your own person. But I need you to understand how much it fucks with my head. You're never going to understand, though. But it makes me question my entire reality. But I told him, I said, I don't care about any of this. Nothing. Nothing in here matters to me. Beefing with you matters to me. Like, that's it. But anyway, hold on. I lost my train of thought. What was I going to say? Oh, okay. When I was younger, like teens, 20s, not so much in my 30s, because I was a mom by that point. So my outlook was different, but for 16 years, my child, I'll say it straight up. I don't care. He's the only reason why I'm on this planet. Okay? It is what it is. Do you mean blue eyes or you mean the dark ring around them? Anyway, I obviously have had a lot of trauma in my life, right? And there were times where I have tried to unsuccessfully, obviously, throughout my life. Not since I've been a mom, but throughout my life. It's happened more than once, okay? And every time I woke up, I would cuss God out. Literally, I would curse God. I truly, with all of my being, and this is a very important part of my testimony, okay? With all of my being, I believed that God hated me because he wouldn't let me die. And this was a lot of like the beef that I developed with God over the years and why it took me until I was 33 years old to start to come around. V, thank you so much. Because I was like, you see what I'm going through. You see what's happening to me and you're making me stay here. You don't even want me. That was how I felt God felt about me. So even though, this is what I was saying, like, I know that God loves me, right? I know that God will not let me go. I know that God has a purpose for me outside of being Dom's mom, but I don't feel it on the inside because my faith was planted in the lie. The lie was that God hates me, right? The lie was you're never going to live to see 16. These are all the things. So it's like when I get triggered in whatever way it is, and it takes me back to that place, like it doesn't matter what I know. I truly believe that sometimes you have to just go through shit. And maybe it's just because I've learned that God lets me go through it and he doesn't give up on me, right? So if I am like I was the last couple of days, like, you know what, God, I'm mad at you. I'm mad at you because I didn't ask to be here. I didn't ask to be a mom. I didn't ask to be kept on this planet. I didn't ask to go through any of this. Like, why am I still going through this? Why won't this end? Right? I'm aiming my anger at God. I know that God isn't going to turn his back on me because I'm mad at him and I'm blaming him for everything, right? He lets me feel that. And the best thing that I could do for myself is to feel it. I'm an entirely different person than I was yesterday. Last night when I went to bed, I was an entirely different person. Literally. I was talking to people by the end of the night. In the beginning of the day, the intrusive thoughts were rampant. So anyway, I'm just being honest. Because I don't want anybody to ever think that like, oh, I stumbled and now I'm a failure and God doesn't want me. That's not true. You stumbled, he's still right there. Hello, why do you think you didn't fall? Oh, you tripped and lost your balance. Okay, but you didn't land on your face. You don't got road rash all over your face. And even if you do have road rash all over your face because you busted your nose up when you fell on the curb, you're still alive. He's not done yet. As annoying as it is sometimes. Anyway, I wasn't reading the chat. Let me do that real quick. That's how you came up with your screen name? That's funny. The devil is a liar. Dave, thank you. He's the father of lies. I'm glad you heard him, Mr. Bethel. Still in the thick of it? I'm sorry, friend. Well, thank you, Chili Willies. Facts, Ninja Bike. My mom used to have that clock. Made a grown man cry. Stop it. I did. For many reasons. Some of it too, like, and that's something I don't think people understand unless, actually any form of self-harm, and eating disorder is self-harm too. Drugs and alcohol addictions are also a form of self-harm. Unless you have lived through that, I don't think you're able to understand it. Same thing with domestic violence. Unless you've ever been a victim, you don't understand why it takes them at least 7 times before they can successfully leave. Right? Like there's certain things, like I said to my son, and all of you, if you've never lost your memory, if you've never woken up in the morning and didn't know who the fuck you were, you will never understand what that feels like. You will never understand what it feels like to talk to people and have knowledge but no emotional connection. Like, I understand what you're saying. I'm following the conversation. Like, I'm not just magically stupid, but I have zero soul connection to anything or anyone anymore. It's a very empty feeling. It literally causes things to move differently in your brain and in your entire nervous system. Mabel, what's up? So that's why, like, for me, I spent my whole entire life keeping things quiet. Everything that ever happened to me, like, I never talked about it. It built up resentment in me a lot. It caused trauma in other ways by doing that, right? Like, it put me in isolation in a way. And after my brain injury, that was like one of the first things to go. I was like, I'm not doing that anymore. I'm definitely going to speak up, and I'm advocating for myself. And I started getting very vocal about the things that I was feeling. I've always been a very vocal person. I've always been very blunt and to the point, right? But not necessarily for like the good things, not for in a positive way. I was not a nice person. You think I'm not nice now? You should have met me before Christ, okay? But I started doing it differently. I started advocating for myself. This is what I'm feeling. And a lot of people didn't like it. And that helped me see who actually had my best interest in heart. Who did God actually put in my life? Do you know what I mean? Because there were people who did not like to see me healing. They did not like to see me getting better. They liked having a scapegoat. There were people in my family who liked that I was the problem because it took all the attention off of what they might be doing. Right? So I started speaking out about the things that I was going through. And it doesn't mean that I'm blaming other people, right? Or I'm not taking accountability or I'm wallowing in it. I'm just being honest. This is what I'm going through. And it changed the trajectory of the way that I heal. Truly. Because imagine if I'm not talking about it, that means I'm also not talking about it with God. Even if he knows, I was keeping it all bottled up. Now I can't do that. And I know as much as I do not like to speak about end times, and apparently I quote this out of Revelation all the time, the Bible tells us that the way that we will be saved is by the blood of the Lamb, and the power of our testimony. We are supposed to share the things that God has done for us, right? Because number one, we're praising him while we do that. We're acknowledging his grace, his goodness, his mercy, his forgiveness, his salvation, everything. And number two, we're offering that to somebody else at the same time. So I understand that sometimes it makes people uncomfortable. Like if you hear me say like, I don't really feel like being here. I don't know why I woke up today. Because I was saying that yesterday, right? But that was real. But if I didn't tell you that yesterday, you could not see what he did to me to get me to where I am right the fuck now. Literally. You think I just magically woke up this morning and, oh, I feel better today. Everything's fine. No, it was the prayers of all of my friends. It was God working on me even when I refused to pick up my Bible and open it. Even when I said, I'm not praying. I don't want to talk to you right now. He said, okay, fine. He didn't walk away from me. He let me go throw my little temper tantrum and pout in the corner. And he said, I'm going to keep working on you. You just sit there and stare at the wall then. Me being in a good mood today would mean nothing if I wasn't honest about how I felt yesterday. Yesterday, I didn't want to be here anymore. Yesterday reminded me of all of the times since I was 11 years old that I didn't want to be here. That's 30 years, bro. I have spent more of my life not wanting to be here than I have wanting to be here. But that's real. If I wasn't honest about that and I didn't share that with you, I couldn't show you the work that God does in me. So, sorry if it makes you uncomfortable, but it is what it is, and I'm not going to shut up about it. Imagine though, like you said, Jax, like all those people, right? They wanted to leave before their time, and God ain't having it. I used to think that God hated me by not letting me die, right? But now I'm like, damn, he's got work for me to do. I imagine that when it is my time to go, I might not want to. I might be like, no, not yet. And isn't that going to be wild? Nobody's going to be around to witness it. That's going to be between me and God, but that's probably what's going to happen. And that was kind of a wild revelation to have too. Anyway. Yeah, no, facts. That's why I say, like, if you're still here, he's not done with you. I say that with full confidence because I know what it feels like to wake up in the morning when you shouldn't. I'm gonna be pissed. Prop me up beside the Fun fact, Joe Diffie was the first concert I ever went to. Facts, bro. Still a little salty, but I'm not as mad as I was. And apparently this talk just now is healing for me because I feel even less salty than I was at the beginning of this. No way, what? I was like 7. Yeah, and it's not an easy thing to talk about because not that it's not easy to talk about, is that people don't want to hear it. That's why people end up feeling isolated in a lot of the things that they go through, because they're constantly being told, don't talk like that. Don't say that. Pick yourself up by the bootstraps. It'll get better. Whatever it is, right? When people try to express themselves in the hard things that they're going through, they're constantly met with the realization that other people don't want to hear it. Probably mainly because other people aren't equipped to hear it. And that's why it's important to be careful about who you're saying what to, you know? But what's the topic? I was in a pretty dark spot the last couple of days, and I'm better now, so we're just talking about that. Yeah, apparently. Literally, Debo, right? Well, I'm glad I could help Ninja Mike. That's because people don't know how to be real with themselves. I want to be a statue and spook kids in the cemetery. You would. You would. Blake, thank you so much. I hope you're having a blessed day. You want to be fossilized? I'm not the light. Jesus is the light. Like this morning. Wait, to which part? What did I say? I'm sorry. I don't know what you expect me to sit here and be honest, and I'm not going to let anybody else be honest towards me. Oh, thank you, Mr. Wholesaler. What did he say? Why are you guys yelling at him? Oh my God, pointing. Oh, the crows are going to be here. He said, what's wrong with you? Steve, thank you so much. If people knew how much I want to leave the world, they would think that I didn't love God. That's so facts, Jax. And that's something that I even struggle with because, like, I'm sorry, but your love isn't enough. Steve, thank you. I hate it here. We talk about this frequently, and that's probably why I refused to talk to him the last couple days. Because I'm like, and this is the thing. I'm a very introspective person, okay? I've been this way my whole entire life. So I'm going to look at this situation, and I'm going to take everything I can from it. So I'm going to sit here, and I'm going to tell you guys that right now, the enemy has been trying to get me to curse my own life for months. And he succeeded yesterday. Yesterday I did. I said, I hate my life. Or the night before, whatever it was, okay? Fine. No matter what, I know that he had to get permission from my father to do that. He was trying to because he wants to cause a disruption. Amy, thank you so much. He still had to get permission. Why would God allow that? Why would God allow that if he knows that I'm weak and I'm vulnerable and I can't handle this right now? Number one, to show me how much I can actually handle at this phase of my life. And number two, to show me that there's still something in there that needs to be pulled out. Amy, thank you so much. Right? So how is gold purified? It's got to be melted down. As it's melted down, all the schmuck comes up to the top. Why did I say schmuck? Normally I say schmutz. Anyway, all the schmutz comes up to the top, right? It's all the dirt and debris. There's a word for it, but I don't know. There you go. And then they take this really special ladle and they scoop it out. And then they let the gold solidify again. And then they do it again. It doesn't matter how many times it's been done. Melt it down, there's going to be some more shit that comes out that you got to scoop out and get out of the gold. This is how you get higher carats of gold. Okay, this is how you get the purity in the gold. You have to continuously melt it down so that all the dirt and all the shit in it bubbles to the top. I'm using the language on purpose. Hear what I'm saying. All the shit's got to rise to the top so it can be scooped out. The only way to do that is to boil it. Turn the solid gold back into a liquid. That is the only way to purify it. That's why God lets us go through things. So while I can be mad that I'm going through this again, Jim, thank you so much, right? I don't want to know that I still feel this way about myself. That's what I was really mad about. I still, at 41, after all of this, after all these blessings, after everything you've done for me, after raising this kid and loving this child, I still feel this way about myself. What the fuck, bro? This is how I was talking to God yesterday. Today, literally today, that was yesterday. Today, I understand. He needed me to see that there's still something in there. I would have kept thinking that everything was fine. I'm healed. Everything's great. And then what if, God forbid, something did happen to my child? And then I tried to jump. Because I didn't know that there was still a lack of self-value. that my value was still tied up in my child. Jim, thank you so much. This is why I warned mothers especially about making idols out of your children. Why is God's love for me not enough for me to value my life? That's heavy. That's a sucky feeling to have, but it's the truth. And I would never be able to face it and heal it, right, if I can't admit that it's there. Oh, it's there. Oh, he let me bubble over. Oh, yeah. He was like, crank up the heat. Crank up the heat. Get all that shit to rise to the top. We got to scoop it out. Why does God let me go through this? That's why. That's why. Because he's trying to purify you. He's trying to make you 24 karat gold. You're satisfied with being 15 carats. He's not. That's not what he intended for you to be. Sorry, I'm just catching up on the comments. No boiling today. Travis, I don't know if I said thank you, but thank you. Shut up, Bisbee. Not in the mood. With my luck, yeah. There would be a slew of angels down at the bottom. They'd catch me midair and then place me gently on the ground, and then I'd be beefing with God all over again. I said, God forbid. I think it's because we don't have a physical presence to show us that he's not abandoned us. That's fair. That was the Israelites' problem, right? Why they kept making idols and why they wanted a king on earth, read the book of Kings. Books. That was their problem. They wanted to see it. But I think the problem for us, though, is that we have the Holy Spirit. They didn't. There's still something amiss for me. And I'm not saying this is true for everyone, but for me, I'm taking this experience, right? I'm not going to beat myself up for having this moment. It would be very easy to. I did a couple months ago. I was in the pit for a long time, and that was the deepest in the pit that I've gone in a long time. It scared me. That's not where I was yesterday, praise God, probably because I already went through it. So I was able to open up to you guys, right? And tell you guys what was wrong so you guys could pray for me. There's a part of me who didn't want to tell anybody what was wrong because I did not want you guys to pray for me. A part of me didn't want you to pray for me, I'll say. My flesh, maybe. But my spirit did. My spirit won. See, it's that tug of war. They were beefing. Where did the soul land? Tell your friends. But I am looking on it as, I know that in order for this to happen, God had to okay it. Why would he do that? Because he's trying to heal me. He's trying to pull all of the parts of me out that I never let him have. Helix, thank you. Right? So that he can heal it. That's why I'm so stubborn. You have no idea. That's why he took my memory. I've said that since it happened. He gives me my memories back at a pace that I can handle. At a pace that I can allow him to help me heal them. And that some of that shit, that is the only way that they could get healed. I wouldn't wish that on anyone. That was a horrible experience. It still sucks. I just shared with you guys how 8 years later, it still deeply affects me as a mom. I am very much aware that what the numbers are when it comes to things like dementia for me. Okay. Do you have any idea how scary it is to think that the one thing that was my anchor to reality, I could literally forget? It's not going to happen. God's not going to let that happen. Statistically speaking, though, It could. The numbers are there. That's a scary thing, right? And that's what I mean. Like, you can never really understand that, right? When people get dementia and they forget who their spouse is, or they forget who their children are, or their siblings, it's horrible for those people to go through. I get it. But you don't know what it's like to go through that. Do they even know what it's like to go through that? Did they know it was coming? Did they have a warning? Probably not. I do. That's also a blessing, something I can pray against, right? But that's something I have to let God take control of. I have to be able to trust that, like, no matter what, even if that were to happen, He's still got me. And I think that might be where my struggle is right now. Maybe, I don't know. Buck, don't agree with him. He likes to, I'm sorry if I didn't say thank you. Karen, I'm sorry if I didn't say thank you. I was kind of rambling. Thank you. Welcome to today's segment, Therapy with God, right? The Spirit existed. People just didn't have access to it. When you disappear, I pray a lot. I know, and I appreciate you guys for it. You're not the only one. I know that. It's in the beginning, it was very difficult for me to deal with people seeing me. You know what I mean? Like, you guys get me. And I've shared this with you a lot. You guys get me more than people in my family do. You guys see me for who I really am, and I'm thankful for that. But in the beginning, it was very difficult because my natural instinct is to run. My natural instinct is to blow all of this up and take off. Like, change everything about you, move to the other side of the country, go find an island if you can. Change it all. Change the music you listen to, change the way you dress, do whatever you got to do. Create a whole new identity. Don't let people see who you really are. But allowing that has, like, being vulnerable in that way has changed everything for me, because now I have you guys to pray for me because you guys actually see me. They're not just empty prayers, you know? Oh my God, I got to tell you about that card I got this morning. Well, I didn't get it this morning. I opened it this morning. I forgot about it. That's true, V. The one thing you won't forget is God if you have dementia. And I know that because that is the only thing that I understood. I didn't even know who I was. I literally thought I was a new soul in this body. I was like, what the fuck is this? None of this makes sense. Yes, Brian. Both long and short. Every day I woke up, I didn't know where I was, and I was in my own house, in my own bed. You don't know that, Ninja Mike. I've gone through divine intervention more than once in my life, even when I wasn't a follower of Christ. I have definitely had the hand of God stop a bullet from going through my head before, not by my own accord. I wasn't doing that. But I could tell you that was like a legit out-of-body experience. I could tell you where every angel was in the room that day. You would think that an experience like that, like the one that I went through that day, would have pushed me closer to God, but it actually made me run farther from Him because I couldn't understand why He saved me. Nothing wrong with going off grid. I'm not talking about going off grid, bro. I'm talking about imploding my life. Very different thing. Brian, thank you so much. Amen, artistic. Wait, you can do what too? It absolutely can. God can and will intervene whenever you allow Him to. Don't create a cop-out for not praying. I didn't listen. When I say I didn't have any self-value, like, I did not value my own life, and I lived a lifestyle that showed it. I lived very recklessly, and I left reckless people around me. There's no other way to say it. The choices that I made, and I can say this with my whole chest, this is 100% fact. The choices that I made, I am responsible for 95% of the things that happened to me in my life. And I made those choices because I didn't value my own life. I didn't care. I told Dom this last night because, well, I had to be honest with him about a lot of things. And I also had to point out to him that he doesn't know who I am. He only knows me as his mom. I looked him in the face and I was like, do you know, because we were talking about like raging and having anger and things like that. And I talked to him about this, like about the self-worth thing. And like, bro, I literally did not even care. You want to talk about rage? All of my rage was internalized. Well, I mean, it was outward, but a lot of it was inward because I knew that I could hurt people and I didn't want to do that. I was the problem. Why should I hurt anybody else? I literally was like, do you know what it means to G-check somebody? He was like, no. And I was like, oh God. Then I had to explain it to him so he could really like understand what I was saying. And I'm like, bro, you have no idea who I was. And I'm not saying that in a way of like, I want you to like fear me or praise me or anything like that. I just want you to understand that I have given you a different life by choice. Buck, thank you. Because a lot of your friends, a lot of kids out in the world today have parents who don't give a fuck. They have parents who don't want to grow up. They have parents who want to keep doing whatever they want to do. And they're not. I was going through all the pictures that I took the last 2 weekends for basketball, right? And these kids, like, they're so annoying sometimes when they ask for the pictures, but I'm also slow. And I have to fight my inner, like, rebellious spirit of, like, when somebody asks me, I do the opposite. I try not to do that to them, okay? But I deliberately didn't post them yet because I was mad at my own kid. I even told the coach this. I was like, I can't do anything that he's going to benefit from right now. Sorry. To the whole team, sorry, you're not getting the pictures right now because of him. You can blame him. Anyway, I'm going through the pictures and I'm uploading them. And I'm like, you know why they want these pictures so bad? A lot of those kids don't have parents there to take pictures of them, much less watch them. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, that's why I tell him, like, you don't understand the life that you've been given. Look around you. You just had a friend pass away whose mom wasn't even there. He passed away in his sleep and his mom wasn't even fucking there. You know that kid was alone all the time. For 2 weeks at a time, his mom would come home to make sure he had food and then leave again. I am the mom that I am because I choose to be that mom for you. It's so sad. Brian, thank you. But it's also it's a very weird time in our life, like parent-child life, because while I've kept a lot of things that I've experienced from him because I didn't want him to ever carry that burden. I never wanted to like take away that innocence like it was taken from me, right? Because sometimes the knowledge of something can strip it from you, right? You can never go back. Like just knowing about something can traumatize you. We've been, our generations, we've been through this. Iffy, what up? But at the age he is in his life now, like, okay, well, if I don't tell him and expose him to certain things, then the world is going to. And my stepmom used to always tell me they had these neighbors growing up who they were super, super, super religious people. And they wouldn't even let their kids watch Disney movies. And my stepmom used to tell them all the time, like, you're trying to like protect your kids from the enemy, but they're not going to know who their enemy is if you don't show them. Like if you don't tell them who their enemy is, they're never going to know. One of their daughters now is, you know, she's a special kind of model, like on yachts and stuff, if you know what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying. Well, her parents sheltered her. She never knew who her enemy was. So if I don't share things with my son now at this point in his life, and he's seeing things out in the world, am I doing my duty as his mother to actually protect him from those things now? You know, it's a weird place to be in as a parent. I don't like it. I had to share some stuff with him yesterday, things that I went through with my dad. And I had to stop midway. Like I was trying to like pound it into him, bro. Like you have no idea the things that I've been through, and I'm not going to go through any of this shit with you. I refuse. I'm the fucking parent. I'm not doing this with you, right? But I had to tell him some things that I've been through, some really awful shit too. I had to stop midway through, and I was like, my father is seeking God. I'm seeking God, and God has allowed us to mend our relationship. This is another thing that's very difficult for people to understand if they haven't been through it. If I was not seeking God and my father was not seeking God, we would not have a relationship right now. No way in hell. And I told him, I said, I'm telling you things that happened to me when I was a different person. He was a different person. He is working hard to change himself. You do not hold this against him. That was hard too. Cause like, I wanted to be, it's like, I'm being honest with you about things that I've gone through, but then at the hands of who? It's tough. Teddy, thank you. It's tough, right? Because my dad, like if my dad wants to step up and be a man in his life, right? Like my dad wants him to come over and help him with yard work. Help him. Like my dad is a very like handy, like he does like a lot of carpentry stuff. He's very skilled at it. He wants to teach my son these things. Wade, thank you. Freedom, thank you. I want him to teach my son. I can't teach him. I want him to teach him how to do an oil change, how to change a tire, how to fix the garbage disposal, like basic stuff that a man should know how to do. I know how to do those things, by the way, but I don't feel like I should. And I don't care how you feel about that either. I appreciate my dad wanting to be that person for him, right? And they've always had a good relationship. I'm pissed he didn't come watch him play basketball this weekend, but the way that Dom treated my mom, like I'm glad he wasn't there. But anyway, I'm saying like I don't want my son to know about things that me and my dad went through and then hold it against him now. And he probably will, because at the end of the day, my son loves me and he wants to protect me too. But I don't want that. I want him to have an opportunity with my dad that I never had. It's a very weird, like tough position to be in. So that's something I do pray about a lot. Like, how do I handle that? Because I'm telling you, my dad is seeking God for himself. And sometimes I feel like I'm the only person he has to talk to about that kind of stuff and the things that he's going through. But it makes it hard for me to talk about the things that I've gone through, but I know that I'm supposed to share my testimony. So it's tricky water sometimes. Brent, thank you so much. But anyway, I just said a lot. I should wake him up and see if he found a ride to practice on. Let's take a vote. Who thinks I'm gonna drive him to practice, even though I said I wasn't going to? Hey, I didn't go get him last night though. I didn't cave last night. I am. Probably because I'm not as mad at him right now. I might be though when he wakes up. It's hard to be mad at a sleeping person. He has a talent for it though, but I'm not as mad now, but I also know that not everything has been resolved. He's gonna wake up one day and that phone line's gonna be disconnected. I know. Well, I already know I'm going to. Well, and so when we finally spoke last night, after we had like talked, right? And he's like, yeah, can I talk to you about the text you sent me? Oh no, because I said, I don't like leaving you without saying goodbye or like I love you or anything. I'm like, that's how badly I just did not want anything to do with you. But I don't believe in doing that because like, what if something happens in the in-between time and you never get another opportunity? You know, I don't believe in leaving in anger, but trust me, we talked about that last night. He knows it too. He's strict, right? Listen, this actually happened a couple months ago. He's like, he's kind of strict, right? And I was like, yeah, I think so. And he's like, I think I need that. He's probably going to deny ever saying that, but he definitely said that to me. Anyway, he was like, oh yeah. He's like, yeah, that pissed me off. And I was like, oh, it made you mad when I just left and didn't tell you I love you and have a good practice. And like, well, that's what happens when you piss off your mom and your mom's fucking done, okay? Anyway, and he was like, no. And he's like, and then your text, he's like, I didn't even see it until the end of practice. I was like, oh. Because I wasn't even like out of the school parking lot yet. And I was like, find a ride. I'm not coming to get you. And I was like, or he said, he's like, I was so mad all practice. I wasn't talking to anybody. He's like, but I was focused on not being mad anymore. I was taking every shot, just letting it go and releasing it because I didn't want to get in the car and be mad on the way home and have us fight again. He's like, I wanted us to have a good ride home. Brian, thank you so much. And then he's like, and then I walk out of practice. I'm calming down. You know, I think we're going to have a good ride. And then I see your text that you're not going to come get me. I was like, oh, you got mad all over again. And he's like, yeah. I was like, now you know how I feel every time I walk in the kitchen. Anyways, I'm done. I feel like I just yapped my brain off. I think I'm done talking now. I do need to go wake him up, though. Don't tell me what to do. If you were blocked, you wouldn't be here right now. I don't know. Maybe it's your internet. Maybe you need to update the app. I don't know what to tell you. I'm not reading my Bible right now, Jax. Maybe tomorrow. Daquan Washington. I might tonight. You never know. At the rate he's moving in me. Oh, Buck, I hope you have a good night. I don't know what you're worried about 13 for. My child was an angel at 13. Sure. Thank you, Brent. My kid doesn't go to school. He does an online program, but thank you for your concern. You've been wrong about everything, but that's okay. Still giving your opinion anyway. Anyway, I'll be on C2 during practice. His practice is from 7:30 to 9:30 tonight, so at some point in there for an hour, I'll be on there. Okay. I sure will, Buck. Well, I'm so mad at you guys now. Okay, peace out, love you, bye.